This is the plaintiff, Jamie Mayall. She says she brought 5 chairs to the defendant to get them refinished and reupholstered. And that woman not only grossly overcharged her, she ruined her chairs. That's right. Turns out the defendant is a hack who has no business doing this kind of work. And she's suing her here and now for every penny of the $751 she's owed. This is the defendant, Jennifer P1. She says she did an excellent job on the plaintiff chairs, gave the woman an awesome price to boot, and now she's being sued? The plaintiff is an impatient, ungrateful woman, and she thinks she definitely has a good leg to stand on defending this lawsuit today. She's accused of shoddy chairmanship. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $550 for monies still owed.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff brought 5 chairs to the defendant to get refurbished and reupholstered. The defendant did an awful job, but the defendant says her job was A-OK. It's the case of my chairs aren't cherry.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Jamie Mayol.
Yes.
You are suing Jen's Custom Designs online furniture store, represented here by Jennifer P1. You're the owner? Okay, for $751 that you paid her, and you want to return to you because it was shoddy workmanship. You have a counterclaim against her for $550 because, according to you, she owes you more money for such great work. Okay, talk to me and tell me what's going on.
Hi, Your Honor. I came here today because I actually found her online, and she advertised herself as a upholsterer.
Do you have the online advertisement?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I took the chairs sometime in April. I think that was April the 14th, and she gave me a price. I took the chairs, and I received them that was June the 30th. So
2 months later. All right. And in the messages, she had said it would take 3 or 4 days.
that's
And
correct,
what were you
Your
having
Honor.
done to the chair?
She was supposed to paint them and actually reupholster them.
Okay. So as weeks and weeks are passing, what are you saying to her?
Well, I text her, like, how the chair is coming along. It was always, a different story.
Like what?
She's sick. She has personal problems, her kids. And
But when you dropped off the chairs, were you dropping them off to a business or a home?
At first, I thought it was like a business, but then she said it was her apartment. And I'm like, okay. So I actually ended up taking them. And I was like, well, hopefully.
I mean, when you went to somebody's apartment, you didn't say to yourself, wait a minute, this, I thought I was hiring some big company. Why am I bringing him to
Well,
somebody's?
she was advertising herself, so I thought like she was starting off.
Okay. Did she
and
tell you I'm starting off?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And did she tell you how long she had been or what training she had or how she was going to know how to do this?
Well, I saw the pictures, and I assumed she knew what she was doing.
How did you learn how to do upholstery work? By an apprenticeship, by working in that kind of business for years? How did you learn?
I saw myself on YouTube, and I have a mentor.
Hold on 1 second. Your voice is gone because you just had surgery on your vocal cords.
I had surgery 6 months ago, yeah.
Why is your voice gone 6 months later?
I had part of my vocal cords removed.
Is that how it's going to be from now on?
6 months later, this is the highest.
Do they
my
say
voice
that it's going
goes.
to come back?
I'm getting speech therapy.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Now, how long had you been in this business? Your answer was, I taught myself. How
Yeah,
did you
I taught
teach
myself.
yourself how to be an upholsterer?
Looking at YouTube.
At YouTube.
Yes, that's the first thing I
You
said.
learned how to be a furniture upholsterer, so we could all be furniture upholsterers. We could all say we're furniture
you're
upholsterers.
talented, yes.
On YouTube, you learned how to upholster furniture and stain furniture. Did she tell you that when you were dropping off the chairs?
No, ma'am.
This was
No,
your
Your
first
Honor.
She
client?
knew this. She would
This
send
was
me
your
links.
Say that again?
She knew that she would send me links from YouTube.
She would send you links from YouTube, so she taught you how to be a furniture upholsterer? No. What, did you, this was your first client?
No, this was my second.
Second client. Did you tell her that?
Yeah, she told me, when she wanted the chairs refinished, what else have you done? And I showed her a table.
And that's it? Okay, and that's how you feel she should know that you're her second client, as opposed to that you only showed her one other
she
example.
never asked me.
I have a question for you. So after 2 months pass, what are you asking her during that time?
Due to her condition, when I called her by the phone, she could never, I couldn't understand her. So it's just text exchange, pretty much.
And in the text, what is she saying? Sorry, personal problems, I have this problem, I have that problem?
I have 2 kids. I have personal problems. My dog is sick. I have to pick him up in a different state. It was every time a different story.
All right, so now that 2 months pass and you pick up the chairs, tell me the chatter between the two of you by text, or show it to me right before picking up the chairs. Because as I understand it from what I've read in those texts, it's she sends you a picture, and then she says, I still have work to do on them, and you say, I'll just take them like that.
Your Honor, at that point, I was desperate. I was sitting in a bench stool and crates in my house to eat. My dining room chairs were since April to June.
Yeah.
Every day a different story.
Show me the complaints. Come on around and show me what you're talking about.
Actually, it's dripping right here.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Right here, you can see it up right here.
All right, so I see here that it's just kind of missing.
Yes.
And was that missing when you picked it up? And it's all blotchy and kind of gobby, like a bad, like when a kid paints nail polish on, that it's too fat in some places, too thin in others.
I noticed that when I took
It's
it outside
dripping here.
into the sunlight. Then I saw
But is this how you picked it up? Why would you take it when it looked that way? You just didn't see it when you picked it up?
At that point, I confronted her. Well, I was with my aunt, and she said the weather's been bad. It's been humid, and I'm like,
If you're texting her that you're going to take 3 or 4 days to do this, then why is it 2 months later? I'm talking to you.
Because we started off with the wrong stain.
What does that mean?
Because there's stain for softwood and hardwood.
Well, why didn't you tell her that? Because you don't know what you're doing.
She's providing me.
No, because you don't know what you're doing because you're not an upholsterer. You're not a furniture, but that's what you held yourself out to be. Was there anything else about this?
all the chairs, Your Honor, are in the same conditions. The way she actually put on the cushion, there's one at home.
What about the way she put on the cushion?
It wasn't aligned the correct way. It shouldn't look that way.
What's wrong with this chair?
Your Honor, for that one, she didn't have to like sand and paint. The day that I actually went to pick up this chair, which was on July, she actually was gluing the cording. As you can see, look, it's coming apart, and you can see the actual staples, and in the back as well. And every time anyone sits, you get up and it's like paint over here.
Wait, what is this here? What happened there? It used to be gold and now it's not?
It faded, like in 2 days, it faded. And when you sit down, you actually get it like on your.
For the love of all that's holy. Are you seeing the things she's pointing out to me?
Your Honor.
Come on over. Don't strain yourself. You're going to talk over me when you can barely talk. Come over here and let me show you. You see the paint dripping there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's atrocious. How is that okay? That's not okay, right?
That I was supposed to put a polishing machine through it to smooth it out.
Okay, well, you know, you don't know what you're doing, sweetie. You don't know what you're doing. Maybe one day you'll be great at this, but you don't know what you're doing, and the woman wants her money back. What about this? Look how you can see all the glue and the staples
I
there.
was gluing this. She was downstairs, Your Honor.
Well, then maybe you should. If you tell somebody you can take 3 or 4 days, you shouldn't take 2 months.
No, I didn't tell her that. I have proof that I did not tell her that.
Oh, I have the text where you tell her that. You messaged her back saying it should take about 3 or 4 days to do the dining room chairs.
She asked me how long will it take. I said, honestly, I don't know. I have proof of that.
Okay. Well, so then your answer is, I didn't know how long it would take. I didn't know that we were using the wrong stain. I wasn't done in 2 months. I mean, it's not okay. All right, go ahead and go back. When you go to pick up the last of what you're picking up, according to you, you're surprised by the amount that was still owed?
Yes, it was like this was $120, and then she wanted to charge $280 for that.
So you were mad, and then what happened? What did you say to her?
You know, at that point, I was upset. I was with my aunt, and my aunt is like, "Listen, you had these chairs since April, and now it's July. You know, $150 seems reasonable. No, I don't want your money." So she just gave me the money. She shoved the money in my hand. And it was like tug of war. She holds the chair on one side, and I'm like, "Give me my chair." My aunt is there witnessing it, and I'm like, "So you're taking my chair? This is my chair, my materials, you know." And she's like,
No, she
yanking
kept
it.
on saying, "No, you're gonna pay my professional price. I'm a professional, and that's what you're gonna pay."
And I told you, don't bring your aunt here again. It's in the text. If you you know.
No, she did tell you don't bring your on here.
Yeah,
All right,
because my aunt called her out on it, so
Yeah.
she didn't like it.
Right.
So it was tug of war, and she slammed the door. When you bring back all my money, then you have your chick.
So
Call
what
the
did you
cops.
do? Did you go back with the rest of the money?
So, does the defendant have a duty to say, hey, I learned this on YouTube and you're just my second client?
Yes.
You have to say that?
Yes.
Why?
It's just part of, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, but that's the question. Do you have to say that?
I don't think so, but I think if she did a bad job, she should redo it or give her money back.
You wouldn't give the customer notice?
Not necessarily, because some people are really naturally talented. What if she's a born, gifted upholsterer?
What if she's a slacker?
That's true, which sounds like she was.
Boy, somebody should tell your boss to watch out for you going inside the courtroom.
I left her out and I knocked on the door and I paid her.
How much did you pay her?
The difference, I gave her the two something.
280?
Yeah, and.
So did they end up paying
She
you
gave
the
me
amount that you had demanded? Okay. In any event, putting all this to a side, let me tell you what I see. I see a job that needs to be redone. All of it. Because that one thing has the glue and the staples. That other thing has dripping paint. I see in the text that she said, they look great, I'll just pick them up. But if you're a professional, you don't let her pick them up. First of all, if you're a professional, you don't take 2 months. Second of all, if you're a professional and you don't text how you have personal problems and that's why you're not. Second of all, if you're a professional, it's done right when it's done. It's just done. And if it's not done right because you're applying the wrong stuff, then it's because you're not a professional. And how you would want to keep the money, how you would not say, I'm so sorry, it's my first job, I botched it here, here's part of it, or try to settle this. How you would not only be incensed that there's a demand for payment, but counterclaim, because you're counterclaiming $550 even though you got paid exactly what you asked for. And your theory on that is what? Because that's what it should have cost, but you didn't charge? Because the way it was stated in the lawsuit was monies owed. But it's additional monies owed because you've decided that it is? Like you've decided you should have charged double? I'm not even going to let you keep the stuff you did charge. So on your counterclaim against her, zero. And on her claim against you, I am going to order you to return the amount of the materials that she can prove, plus the $400 she paid you, $711.34. Look, everybody learns how to do something.
She didn't pay me $700.
No, she paid you $400, but she paid, because I see the receipts, for $311.
So I did all those chairs for free.
No, you ruined those chairs for
She didn't
free.
even let me
That's
finish
what you
them.
did. You don't seem to get it. I pointed it out to you. I thought you'd be a little more repentant. I pointed out to you what those look like. The fact that you wasted time doing something you don't know how to do is not something somebody else pays for. Verdict for the plaintiff, $711.34.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And so the judge rules that work by the professional wasn't very professional. I'll try to mic you very closely here to hear your reaction.
I think that I put a lot of work into those chairs, and she didn't even let me finish them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Reupholstering is a very difficult business. It's hard. This is your first job. Are you telling us that you think this was your best work?
I think that if I would have finished the job, if I was allowed to finish the job, that it would have came out great, but I cannot hold her chairs hostage. She wanted to take them. I had to let her take them.
Okay. Are you getting more work and you're continuing on in this field?
I haven't done upholstery work after all this stress.
You haven't?
No.
Are you going to?
I think that if I keep, looking at YouTube, no.
Keep learning, right?
If I keep learning, I'm capable.
Okay. All right. Good luck. All right. So step in here. You satisfied how this comes out here?
I'm content that the judge actually saw the truth. It prevailed today. So thank you, Judge Milian.
Yeah. Reupholstering's tough. You do know it's a difficult profession. It's hard to do it right. Have you ever heard of you get what you pay for?
Yes, I've learned my
She
lesson.
has.
What's your lesson?
Good things don't come cheap.
Harvey?
Okay, when you perform a service for somebody, you have a duty to be professional. You don't have to disclose it's your second client, but you have to do it in a professional way, and if you don't, you're going to pay. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.